And I turn on the captions, which you can also turn off if you go to settings. And I'll put those props in the chat again. So pillows, strap, blankets. Okay, great, let's get started. Go ahead and find a comfortable seat. It's nice to sit on a blanket. If you can have your sitting bones higher than your knees, that's nice. A place where you can root into your seat. I'm Amy. I use she, her pronouns. This is Restorative Yoga on Sunday, November 28th. Hope you all had a good week. A chance this hour to rest and center, connect with our inner selves here, which you can always do in yoga. During class, if you can't hear me, you can unmute, let me know. You can also type in the screen, which I'll see a little later, but I'll try to look at that as well. And listen to your body through practice. If anything isn't feeling right, you can always rest lying down simply on your back. And let's begin by centering here today in the present moment, using our breath to arrive in the here and now. You can rest your hands wherever they're comfortable in your comfortable seat. You might have your legs crossed or maybe your heels under your sitting bones. And breathing in through the crown of the head to long spine. As you exhale, feeling the breath grounding you into your sitting bones, into the base of your spine. Let the inhale travel into the low belly. And let the exhale be a grounding downward breath. The exhale is also a letting go breath, letting go of anything you don't need at the present moment, right now, during your practice. And see if you can let your exhale be a little longer than the inhale. This helps us ground into the present space. If it helps support you connect with your breath and body, you can also place a hand over the heart and another over the stomach. Letting the exhale root you into your sitting bones. As you inhale, breathing all the way into your hips. Notice anything you're carrying with you today, anything in your breath or body, heart space, or mind. Simply noticing. Take another 2 or 3 more breaths here, arriving. And in your own time, we'll meet in a child's pose. Take your time getting there. You can keep your gaze gentle, the eyesight gentle as we move towards that tabletop child's pose position. And child's pose, you can let your knees be really wide and sit right back onto the heels, reaching the fingertips forward, stretching into the back. As you inhale, breathe into the back space. As you exhale, releasing weight through the sacrum, the low back, at the base of the spine. You can imagine someone's gently pressing down, helping you root into your child's pose. Let the inhale move into your low belly. Exhale to release weight through the space between your eyebrows. If you like, you can set an intention for your practice today. It could be dedication for yourself or for someone else if you like. Anything you need today for your practice. And take 3 or 4 or 5 more deep breaths into the belly here in child's pose, continuing to arrive into the ground, into the space. Feel yourself supported. by your own breath. Breathing into the deepest part of the hip crease, the low back here. Exhaling to let go. And begin to tiptoe the fingertips over to the left side, opening up the right side of the body. This can be a gentle curve or a deeper curve. As you inhale, feel the breath moving into the side body. And as you exhale, continue to release weight through the space between the eyebrows. Stretching into the side ribs here. Feel free to sigh out through the mouth on the exhale if that feels good. Take another deep breath into the right side of the body. And begin to move the fingertips through neutral and then over to the right side, opening up the left side ribs, the left side of your body here. Let the breath travel into the side ribs, opening up as you exhale, releasing weight through the space between the eyebrows. If it feels good, you can sigh it out through the mouth or even open the jaw a little bit, giving your jaw a stretch here. Continuing to breathe into the hip creases. Take another 2 or 3 breaths here, opening up this side of the body. And begin to move the fingertips back through neutral. We're going to press up onto our palms and knees into tabletop with our shoulders over the wrists. Take a moment arriving into the space, breathing deeply into the belly to support the breath or support the body with breath here, avoiding any dizziness as we're raising our body up. Then inhaling the right arm out to the side, looking to the side, then threading the needle, bringing the right fingertips under the left arm and tiptoeing the left fingertips forward. So we're stretching open the right shoulder and right shoulder blade. Breathe deeply into the right shoulder here. As you exhale, you can release weight into the side temple, the side of the head that's pressing into the mat. To breathe into the hips here, exhaling to ground. Breathing into the place that feels good. It might be in the shoulders or maybe your hips are feeling a stretch here. Let the breath move all the way into the hips. And just enjoy this pose. Take another couple breaths on this side. And gently begin to bring the left palm towards the face to help press your way up. Coming back into a tabletop and then pressing with the shoulders over the wrists, the hips over the knees from that neutral spine. Take a deep breath into the hips to feel the breath in neutral spine. And then from there, inhale the left arm out to the side, bringing the eyes with it. Then threading the needle under the right arm. Tiptoeing the right fingertips forward. So stretching open the left shoulder here. Let the breath travel into the shoulder, opening up. As you exhale, releasing weight into the side of the head. Opening the shoulder, opening the hips. Let the breath be just as long here. And our belly is relaxed here. Invite breath into that part of the body Really filling the body with air. Let the exhale be nice and long. Gently begin to bring the right hand towards the face to press our way up back into tabletop slowly, continuing to let the breath travel through the body. From here, we're going to bring the sit seat back to the ground. You can sit on your blanket if you like. We're going to use a block here. If you don't have a block, you can use your hands. You could also use a tissue box. That works as well. We're coming into supported Baddha Konasana. Take a moment finding our sitting bones here with our feet together and our hips opening. You might also find some length in your spine by pressing into the palm of the hand and breathing through the crown of the head, finding some breath here in your spine. And from here, we're going to place the block on the soles of our feet and reach forward. If you want a really gentle forward fold, you can place a blanket or pillow under each knee for this pose. So that's an option. If you don't feel you want that quite yet, you can just fold right forward. And I'm showing the supported knee option here. Breathing through the crown of the head and then folding right forward, resting the space between the eyebrow into the block or into the tissue box. You might even give yourself a little self-massage in that space if your block is hard. And from here, really resting into this pose. Let the breath travel into the back body. Our lungs are usually thought of in the front of our body, but there's all this space to breathe into, behind, in the back. Let the exhale be just as long. As you exhale, see if you can let yourself really be held by the support beneath you. You're letting go both into the block, resting your head, resting your skull. Also letting the sitting bones root into the ground here. We'll be in this forward fold for another minute. Invite your heart space to soften here. There's nothing that needs to be held in this shape. The belly is also soft. And the breath is moving into the lowest part of our low back, low belly. Exhaling to release. Continue to soften the muscle in the neck. As we begin to move our way out of this forward fold, you can keep the gaze soft. As we begin to come onto our back, if you have the blankets under your knees, you can keep those there and rising really slowly so that we don't get dizzy as we're coming up. And as we come onto our back, we'll be coming into a supported goddess pose. You can lift yourself down or lower yourself down using your palms and forearms, coming onto the back. And I do encourage everyone to use the support under the knees for supported goddess. So the soles of the feet are together here, and you'll place a blanket or blocks or pillows under both knees. And then from there, the back is simply resting into the ground. So our legs are in the same shape as they were before. Take a moment and just checking in with your knees, see if you have any pinching there. The hands can be over the hips to help ground, or you can also let the hands fall open into a V, palms up receptively or palms down, grounding you. Let the shoulders fall open here, and let the whole back really rest into the ground. You might notice any place that is holding. Either support yourself with props. In restorative, we don't want to be holding our muscles anywhere. Or if it's more of a holding in your own body, as you exhale, invite that place to release here. Let the sacrum area near the hip be heavy. Let the breath travel into the low belly here. As you exhale, invite the heart space and the upper ribs, the collarbones, shoulders to release. Really invite the breath into the lowest part of the belly. And as you exhale, letting the back melt into the ground. Continue to let the exhale be just as long as the inhale here. And this pose is both opening and a releasing pose. Notice any thoughts that might come up here, and as they do, simply noticing them without any judgment. Let them pass. And continue to invite the breath into the low belly, into the heart space. Each exhale is an invitation to release and let go. We'll be in this shape for one more minute. Notice the space behind the eyes here, the place we use for vision and thinking, and also the physical sensations behind the eyes as you exhale, inviting that part of the mind to also begin to soften and relax here. In your own time, you can begin to make your way out of this shape by bringing the blankets away from the knees, and we'll come into a restorative bridge pose. For restorative bridge, you can use a block under the sacrum or a firm bolster or a couple pillows. I'm coming up onto my side and forearms, and then I'll be using a block. You're also welcome to stay in restorative goddess pose if you like, as always. And so for restorative bridge, you'll press yourself onto the soles of the feet and bring a block or bolster right under the sacrum. The sacrum is that big triangular bone at the base of the spine. And then from there, depending on the body and day for you today, you might have the knees be wide, or you might let the knees fall towards the center. And that might feel like a nice release after our previous pose with that opening. You really want the sacrum to be supported so that you can really ground into that part of the body and really release. Once again, your hands can be over the hips to help ground you here, or you might have them out at a V at your sides. That might feel really grounding too. Palms down, pressing into the ground, or palms up receptively, opening the heart a little bit more. So go ahead and use whatever props you have for that if you are setting up for a restorative bridge. And as your body adjusts to this shape, let yourself know that you can fully release into that support under the sacrum. As you exhale, releasing into the sacrum, releasing into the shoulders, letting the shoulders rest here. And as you inhale, inviting breath all the way into the hips. You'll notice here in this pose, the belly is also relaxed. Inhale into that space in the body. As you exhale, notice the belly gently lowering, releasing the breath. Inhale through the nose and exhaling, releasing all the way from the low belly through the heart space into the upper ribs and shoulders, really releasing all the muscles in the front part of the body. We'll be in our restorative bridge for another minute. Continue to invite the breath to fill the belly. As you exhale, releasing into the ground even more. Releasing the hips, releasing the shoulders, and letting the brain and the skull also slide back. Let the brain rest here. As you're ready, we'll begin to release the prop from under the sacrum and coming straight onto our back, letting our legs be long, letting the whole body rest into the ground here. And take a moment to invite breath into the lowest part of the belly, exhaling to release into the ground. So we're reconnecting with the ground here, lying on our back. We're often here in this shape, but really feeling the breath move through the whole body here. Bring the right knee into towards the chest, continuing the belly breath, exhaling to release the back into the ground. You might give the ankle a circle to the right, rolling into the ankle. As you roll into the ankle, continue to let the breath flow. You can reverse the direction of these circles here. Nice long breath. And go ahead and using the right hand on the knee to roll circles into the right hip joint. So we're using the fingertips, maybe the palms, to guide the knee to gently roll into that hip socket. These can be really small, subtle circles, or if your body would, if it feels good, it could be larger circles. As you move into this part of the body, continue to let your breath be long. Let the exhale be just as long as the inhale. From here, let the right knee fall over the left side of the body. We're coming into a twist. You can use a bolster pillow support under the knee as it falls there for a softer twist, or you can simply let the knee fall towards the floor. The left hand, the hand closer to that bent knee, can rest over the leg or hip to help ground, or maybe the hand can fall open naturally. And you can look over that side for a soft twist, or maybe look over the opposite shoulder for a deeper twist. You can make your hand into a cactus shape, like a right angle, or like a letter T for a deep heart opening twist. So finding your curve, however open your twist is, begin to settle into this twist, and our body will be holding for a while as it encounters this twist. As you exhale, invite the body to let go here. Gently opening and also releasing the spine into this twist. Continue to invite the breath to travel through the whole spine. And each exhale is an opportunity to release here. You can imagine the breath like a visitor, gently inviting breath into the body and gently releasing breath on the exhale. If you notice any thoughts come up as we're lying still here, simply notice the thought and let it pass. And with each exhale, we're continuing to soften the heart space. We'll be on this side for another 30 seconds. As you're ready in your own time, you can begin to bring the right leg back into neutral, letting both legs out flat or straight on the ground. You can take a breath in this neutral spine, inviting breath into the lowest part of the belly, exhaling to release the whole back into the ground. And then from there, we'll pull our left knee towards the chest using our clasped fingers, breathing into the belly. As you exhale, releasing the back into the ground. Nice long breath, nice long exhale to release. And you can begin to use the left hand to guide the knee to roll circles into the left hip socket. Really warming up that big hip joint that supports us all through the day, whether we're sitting or standing. You can use the right hand to press the right hip down to ground you if that supports this, or you can also press the right hand into the ground to ground you as well. Continue to breathe nice and long here. Let the circles be as small or large as supports you. And you can reverse the direction of the circles. On the other side, we rolled out our ankles. We skipped that part, so you can take a moment and hug the knee to the chest again if you like, and roll into the left ankle. You're also welcome to continue with rolling into the hip socket. Wherever you are, invite breath. You can imagine it moving into that part of your body that you're gently opening and warming here. And as you're ready, you can let the left knee fall over the right side, coming into a twist on that side. And you can use a bolster or pillow under that knee for a soft, supportive twist. You can also place a blanket over the body to help ground you. And you can use the right hand to over the right thigh or hip to ground you, or simply let it fall open naturally. And that left hand, you could also use to ground you, or maybe you open into a deeper heart opening twist. You can cactus the hand or open into a long arm, opening through the heart space. Maybe you look over the opposite shoulder for a deep twist. Begin to arrive on the side, gently opening up the spine and the whole body into a supportive opening on the other side. As we do that, we're still inviting ourselves to soften and let go with each exhale. Really let yourself be held here. And we'll also be on this side for a couple minutes. Balancing our body left and right. Continue to invite breath to move into the spaces of the body here in the twist. It might feel like there's less opening space here. Really invite breath into the belly. And your only job as you exhale is to let go. Continue to soften the space behind the eyes. If anything comes up, any thoughts, as you're resting here in this twist on the side, and simply notice the thought without any judgment. You can let it pass. Another 30 seconds here. Continuing to let the heart space soften on the exhale. Whenever you're ready, we'll roll onto one side and gently press your way up nice and slow using your forearms and palms, letting your head be flat as you push your way up, breathing deeply to avoid dizziness here. We'll be setting up for our supportive reclining twist. Taking your time to get there, no rush at all. For this pose, we want bolster our pillow or blanket at an angle here. We'll be resting into this shape. I'm using a block under a bolster, which I'm resting over it. You can also use a couple folded blankets, maybe in a roll or folded into a higher height. You can use a couple of those. And go ahead and lay the bolster over there. And so you'll be bringing the sitting bones to the edge of that support, letting the knees fall over, and we'll be coming down onto that support. You might want something for under the seat if that feels supportive. You might also lay a blanket on the over the hips to help ground you. And from there, you'll be bringing the forearm or the hands to either side of the support, and then facing forward, resting the whole front body into that support beneath you. So you can look with the cheek towards the bent knees for a softer twist. If you want a deeper twist, you can also look over the opposite side. So yeah, a couple options there, and go ahead and get set up for that shape. So sitting onto the edge of the props and then folding forward. You can imagine the props are coming up to meet you just as much as you are lowering yourself to rest into that shape. And as we transition, our body might hold a little bit, and as it adjusts, invite the whole front of the body to release here. You might notice the breath in the belly pressing against the support beneath you. As you exhale, you might notice the whole body gently lowering with that exhale. The eyes can be closed if you're comfortable here, a really gentle gaze. Let the exhale be just as long as the inhale. Really enjoy the feeling of the whole body lowering as the breath releases. Know that you're completely supported here. If you notice any place, any spot in the physical body that's holding, as you exhale, invite that place to let go. Be on this side for one more minute. Enjoying the trust that you're encouraging in your own body, really being held by the prop, the ground beneath you here. No rush at all. In your own time, we'll be pressing ourselves up using the palms and forearms, letting the head and neck be gentle. Breathing as we press our way up to avoid dizziness, to come onto the other side. And to come onto the other side, you can bring the sitting bones to the edge of the props, and then using that same support, let the knees fall over the other side. And then placing the hands on either side, go ahead and let the support come up to meet you just as you lower your own body down to rest here on the other side. And again, we're opening the spine in the other direction. Our body will be holding a little bit as we're coming onto the other side. And let the whole front body, the whole upper body really begin to settle in here. You can let this twist be a deeper twist by looking over the opposite shoulder, or you can look towards the bent knees for a softer twist. Invite the space behind the eyes, the whole head space, to Also release here. Let the shoulders also let go here. The forearms are resting into the ground. We're continuing to be held even more by the support beneath us. With each exhale, letting go even more. And continue to enjoy the feeling of the in-breath moving into the belly, and as you exhale, feeling the body release and lower towards that support beneath you. Notice any spots that are holding, and as you exhale, invite that place to release. Be on this side for another 30 seconds. You can gently begin to press yourself up using the forearms and palms, letting the head and neck be relaxed, keeping the gaze gentle. And we'll be using the same support for our back, for our supported bound angle pose. And for this pose, we will want our straps. And we'll also want 2 rolled blankets, or if you don't have a rolled blanket, you could use a pillow for under each knee. And this helps so that our hips can fully release, and so that our knees don't get pinched. So I'm rolling 2 blankets for under each knee here. I'll be bringing the soles of my feet together and letting that rest under the knees. And if you do have it, another 2 supports for under each arm, and that'll let our arms really release in our bound angle pose. Finally, you'll want a strap or a belt or leggings or a scarf, anything like that. You want it nice and big so that it can go all the way around your sacrum and at the base of your spine and around your feet. You're going to start by putting it around your head, wrapping it around that strong bone at the base of your spine. You don't want it so that your low back is falling into it, but you want it at the place that's nice and strong and stable. And then you place the other end around the bound feet here. Your sitting bone is going to be, or your base of your spine is right at the edge of that support. And then from there, gently begin to lower your way down. And you can adjust any props as needed there. There shouldn't be any pinching in the knees. You can place a blanket under the neck if that is desired by your body here. And if you need, you might want to move the cushions for the knees closer towards the midline if that supports you. And in this pose, we're totally open, deep opening, and yet completely held and cradled in by the prop. So our hips are really releasing here. Nothing to hold in the hips. Let the back really rest into the ground here. Relaxing the neck. You'll notice that the low belly and heart space is completely open and soft with plenty of space for breath here. Invite breath into the lowest part of the belly. Invite the ribs to lift. Invite breath into the heart space here. And as you exhale, letting the whole breath release, soften through the whole body. We'll be practicing a centering breath here, and you're welcome to practice with me or simply continue with your natural breath, letting the breath move into the low belly, letting your exhale be a letting go. You can start the centering breath by moving through your own natural breath, moving with the natural timing of your own breath here. And each breath is a sign of life moving through you, really enjoying each breath. And we'll come to a longer in-breath and a longer out-breath. Simply notice the texture of your own breath, the quality of your own breath here. And go ahead and take a longer in-breath through the nose. Let your exhale be just as long. And continue with your natural breath. We'll come to another round of a longer in-breath and out-breath. And notice, as you notice the quality of the breath, invite the breath this time to be smooth like silk or like water, noticing the beginning and end of the in-breath, the beginning and end of the out-breath, encouraging the breath to be as even as possible. So go ahead, taking a longer in-breath through the nose, encouraging the breath to be smooth and even. Let your exhale be just as long and smooth. And return to the natural breath. Continuing to invite breath into the low belly and the heart space here. As you exhale, continuing to release. You can enjoy the inner stillness and silence of your own body. And as any thoughts might arise, continuing to notice them without any judgment, letting them pass. As you exhale, continuing to let the lowest part of the belly soften towards the pelvis. No holding here. And as we move into Shavasana, you're welcome to stay in this bound angle pose if you're feeling restful. You can also move into traditional Shavasana by gently releasing the props. You can roll onto one side to release the props here. If you do want some support, you can place a blanket under the neck and head. You can also place a blanket under the knees to help the low back release. You can also use a blanket over the whole body for warmth and grounding. If you're cold, it's a good time for a temperature check. If you want any water, checking in with yourself, how your body is feeling. And begin to lower yourself towards the mat, or if you're in that shape, you're welcome to stay there. You can place the hands over the hips to ground, or let the hands open naturally into a V. A more receptive position, palms up, or you can rest the palms into the ground. Let the entire back rest into the ground here. Relax the face, the forehead, eyebrows. Let the eyes rest in the eye sockets. Relaxing the cheek, the mouth. You might swallow and let the low jaw gently part. Releasing the neck, shoulders, upper ribs. Letting the heart space be soft and open here. And the belly is soft and open. The hip area is heavy. You can let the big muscles of the body, the thighs, the trunk, completely rest into the ground, and the small muscles, the wrists, the ankles are also relaxed here. And let your breath be natural. Simply rest. And if you like, you can imagine a color here that feels safe to you. You can imagine that the color expanding in your own body to nurture the whole nervous system here. You can gently begin to invite a deeper breath in through the nose into the low belly and releasing breath through the mouth. You're also welcome to stay in Shavasana through the end of the meeting. We'll simply be closing the meeting. You can invite movement into the fingers and toes and gently invite the eyes to open. In your own time, you can roll onto one side through a fetal position, and you can use your elbow as a pillow for the head. And to press your way up, you can press onto the hands, forearms, let the head and neck be last. And coming to a comfortable seat. You can place one hand over the heart and one over the belly. Breathing deeply through the nose. Exhaling, releasing breath through the mouth. Take another breath in through the nose. Releasing breath through the mouth. You can place your hands at heart center or resting them at the knees, wherever you're comfortable. Take a moment to acknowledge your own inner light and gratitude for practicing together today. You can breathe deeply through the crown of the head, and you can bow forward on the exhale if you like. And thank you for sharing your practice today. I'll be turning off the recording as well.